already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live.
Right now.
Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul Sporting with the talk. First lady from New York,
Brooklyn.
All my people, you rocking with the chat.
Hit that.
The like button would tell me where you at. You know, Step from the NBK. Born and raised up NBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Nick family, and welcome to the morning show. I'm your host, Stephanie. Welcome to the channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the NBK family. The Knicks lost their third straight last night to the Atlanta Hawks, 139-124 in Atlanta. Mitch missed the game. As we know, he had surgery on his right thumb, I believe it was, and he'll be reevaluated in 3 weeks. The Knicks gave up 139 points. But we did miss Mitch. I'm not going to deny it. But the defense we played last night was not all about Mitch missing this game. We'll get into that a little later. Shout out to those in the chat. Shout out to those who are going to be watching later. I really appreciate it. Let me just give a shout out to the early risers. Edwin P. Appreciate you. Ashley Inc. 1. Please help us get through this crisis. Don't panic, Knick family. Don't panic. The Knicks are not the only ones struggling in this Eastern Conference. And as I said many times, the 6th seed through the 12th seed is going to be up for grabs throughout the season. You're going to see, teams moving up and down the standings. That's how close it is, 6 through 12. So don't panic. Edwin P, appreciate you. White Falcon 44, Delano Steele, I appreciate you. Anthony Grant, I appreciate you as well. Dimes and Knicks, welcome. I appreciate you. And all those who are not in the chat, who are listening right now, like my brother Stafford Don, I appreciate you as well. All right. Disappointing loss, Knick family. Disappointing loss. But anyway, let's get into it. Coming into the game, the Knicks were 25-21, 7th in the Eastern Conference. They're still 7th in the Eastern Conference. Miami lost last night as well. But Atlanta now, having won 5 straight, is just a half game behind the New York Knicks. Coming into the game, the Knicks had won 7 of their last 10, but had lost 2 straight. The Atlanta Hawks, coming into the game, was 24-22, 8th in the Eastern Conference, had won 6 of their last 4, but had won 4 straight. So they were coming into last night's game red hot. The Knicks started Brunson, Grimes, Barrett, Randall, and Sims. Again, Mitch Robinson was out. He had surgery on his right thumb and will be reevaluated in 3 weeks. Atlanta started Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, and Clint Capella. I think they're not ranked that high defensively, but when you look at them as a team, Trae Young is not a strong defender. John Collins is okay. All right, I guess I can see it. All right, individual stats: Randall 32 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 50% from the field. Randall had 15 points in the first half. He had 17 points in the third quarter, and that actually helped us get a slight lead, in that third quarter. But he did not score in the fourth quarter, right? He took 1 shot in the fourth quarter. Not sure what that was about, but we'll talk about the fourth quarter for the Knicks. Barrett, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, shot 56.3% from the field. The Knicks shot fabulous from the field. Offense was not the problem. I think the only player to shoot under 50% in last night's game was Obi Toppin. Everybody else was 50% and above. The Knicks shot 59% from the field. 59% from the field, the Knicks shot. Offense was not the problem. There was times, particularly in that first quarter, where Barrett looked unstoppable getting to the rim. Whether he was driving right, finishing with whether he was driving right, finishing with the right hand, or driving left and finishing with the left hand, there really wasn't anything they can do with him in that first quarter. Brunson, 19 points, 9 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. The Knicks only had 3 blocks in this game, and Brunson had all 3 of them. He shot 50% from the field. He only had 1 point in the fourth quarter, a free throw. Sims, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, 6 for 6 from the field. A lot of his points, 6 of those points came in the fourth quarter, and they were pretty early in the fourth quarter. They were when we needed them. So it wasn't like they were in garbage time. But listen, Sims, statistically, you could say that his numbers were just as good as Mitch, or his numbers are even better than what Mitch averages on the season. But you could see he does not have the same impact that Mitchell Robinson has, right? So we could sit here and we could talk about the stats, all day. But if you look at that game, he's not as long as Mitch. He's not a good offensive rebounder and finisher as Mitch around the basket through traffic. And I'm not banging on him. I'm just saying, for those of us, and I say us because we're a family, for those of us who bang on Mitch and who may not appreciate him and who may just look at his stats, Sim stats, better than Mitch, you could say, right? But the length is not there. Teams aren't afraid to come into the key, right? They're not deterred. The rim protection is not there. And like I just said, the offensive rebounding and putback is not there. So I'm not banging on Sims. I just want us to just appreciate what Mitchell Robinson does that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. Now, what I've always said about Mitch is I appreciate the intangibles. I just would like to see it show up on the stat sheet as well. And there are times when it does. And I would like to see Mitch, when he does come back, give us both. Give us the intangibles, but show up on the stat sheet as well. Anyway, we'll get into this a little later. All of what we saw last night was not about Mitch's absence. All right, let's just talk about, I'll get back to Atlanta. I just want to talk a little bit about some of the other Knicks in the game last night. Quentin Grimes, 10 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, in just 16 minutes. In just 16 minutes, he had that, it just wasn't a great night for Grimes defensively, but you could say that for the entire team. But Grimes and Quickly are 2 of our best perimeter defenders. And there wasn't anything any of them could do with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, right? And it just also highlights how important having that big in the key is, right? Because it's hard to defend anybody in the NBA one-on-one. It's just difficult. You're getting picked off. You're always behind, trying to get back into play because of the pick. But when you have somebody like Mitch that shows really big, they have to hesitate, for maybe a split second, and that allows you to get back into play. It helps out. They didn't have that last night. DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, it was in the key all night long with the floater. In all fairness, for Trae Young, that's what he does anyway, even when Mitch is in there, because again, Mitch has to drop back in coverage because of Clint Capella, right? We've seen this before, even with Mitch, and that does give up the floater. You kind of have to pick your poison, the floater or the lob for the dunk, right? So Atlanta is a tough cover anyway, but last night, to me, I just felt like it was just over the top, even with Trae Murray now getting in the key pretty much the entire game, getting whatever he wanted. I thought the bench gave us some good minutes, for those, the minute police for the last 2 games, the minutes has been around, 38 or less for the starters. RJ Barrett played a little over 38 minutes. Randall played 33 minutes. Jericho 28. Grimes 16. Emmanuel 35. Okay, so the minutes are coming down for those who were concerned about that. This might have been one of the, well, I don't know, but sometimes you just need the bench to play better, because sometimes you bring their minutes down, and if you're not getting what you need from the bench, you could lose a lead, or it makes it that much harder for you to get back in the game. I thought the bench did okay last night. Quickly, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 for 5 from the field. I don't think he took I think he may have took just a few shots in the fourth quarter. Most of his points came in the first and second quarter. Quickly didn't look like himself to me. Let me know what you think about that. Miles McBride played 16 minutes. He had 8 points, 4 assists, 1 rebound, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. It was good to see the shot go down for McBride. He stays comfortable. But 2 of those 3-pointers was, when the game was just out of reach. However, it was just good to see the shot go down for him. Obi Toppin in his 16 minutes, 7 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, shot only 42.9% from the field, had a nice drive along the baseline for the slam. I didn't particularly like, him and Randall in the fourth quarter playing together. I'm not sure, you need offense at that time because you were down. He's been rebounding a bit better as of late. I don't know. Not my favorite look, the Randall Obi pairing. But let me get back to Atlanta before I check in with the chat. Murray, 29.6 assists, 6 rebounds, 12 assists, shot 56% from the field. Nothing we can do with Murray all night long. He got anywhere he wanted to go, period, point blank. He only hit 1 3-pointer. Young, 27 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists, did not shoot well from the field. Was the only Atlanta Hawk not to shoot well from the field. I think he also only had 1 3-pointer, right? So most of their points came in the key. Hunter, 20 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, shot 63.6% from the field. Collins, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, shot 87.5% from the field. The Knicks shot better, right? The Knicks shot better, but, they got off more shots. The Knicks shot 59% from the field. They shot 56. The Knicks shot 43.3% from the 3-point line. They shot 38.2% from the 3-point line. The Knicks did not, neither team went to the line a lot. The Knicks went to the line 17 times. They went to the line 16. The Knicks hit 13 of 17 for 76.5%. They shot 87.5 for 14 for 87.5%. But listen, offense was not the issue in last night's game. The issue was defense. All right, let me get to the chat. Paris Duggar, thank you for the super chat. When your coach doesn't make matchup adjustments, you get this results on defense. IQ belongs to Trae Young and Grimes and RJ on Murray. Mr. Clueless Tibbs, I hear you. John Levy, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Tibbs rotations don't work. Time for new hood. Appreciate you. All right, let's get to some of the other comments in the chat. White Falcon. Sims, Canal Band Lawyer says Sims is not a starter. Let me just get to White Falcons 44. Sims is a power forward, bruiser, rebound, hustle, scrapper, brick wall, poster. Start Sim at it doesn't matter. He started last night. I mean, so I don't get it. He started last night with Randall. And I like Sims, but I have to agree with Canal Ben Lawyer. He's not a starter in this league. But he did what he can do. He played well. 12 points, 8 rebounds. We needed it all. We needed it all. Good morning, Ajay. Appreciate you. Keith Turner, we need to upgrade the starting lineup. RJ plays an important position to be that bad. We got to move him point blank, period. I didn't think RJ played bad last night. I thought he was lights out, in that first quarter. I just think this game came down to a lot of things, but particularly the fourth quarter. The Knicks entered the fourth quarter down 4 points. Down 4 points. Brunson scored 1 point. Randall scored no points. RJ scored 6, and Sims scored 6 of his 12. All right. I appreciate you, Troy Vantol. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you dropping by. Canal Bound Lawyer still has no clear offensive scheme. I thought the Knicks moved the ball well last night. The Knicks had 27 assists. So for those who wanted to see ball movement, I didn't think that there was a lot of ISO ball last night. The Knicks did move the ball. Again, offense was not the problem last night. It was defense. Keith Turner, Tibbs didn't make any adjustments. I don't know how you all still defend the coach. He's a horrible coach. I appreciate you, Keith Turner. Obi is looking better. Got a ways to go. Tim Smith, Paris Duggar, look how much better we looked with less minutes. Even if you lose, stop. If I had to choose between heavy minutes and winning and less minutes and losing, you got to play. Obviously, you can't play the entire season like that. So you hope that things change. You hope the bench get better so you can bring the minutes down. You hope you get reinforcements so you can bring the minutes down. But you're going to tell me that you prefer the Knicks to play 38 minutes and lose than to play 2 more minutes, 40 minutes. And I'm not saying that was the case in this particular game. It's not. It wasn't. In general, you prefer that over playing 2 extra minutes and winning the game? I have to disagree. With that. Yes, Sims had 2 steals. Yes, listen, White Falcon 44. I'm not disagreeing with you. I like what Sims bring. I'm just pointing out for those of us who have issues with Mitch, Sims, statistically, you can say he had a better statistical game than Mitch usually has. But the intangibles, in terms of what makes our defense work, he's the anchor of our defense. Sims is not that. He's just not. All right. Let's get into the team stats. The Knicks gave up 139 points. You're just not going to win giving up 139 points. And that's not all Mitch. As a matter of fact, the Knicks have been struggling defensively. I was able to crunch some numbers, this morning. The Knicks have been struggling a bit defensively. So they're top 11 in defensive rating for the season. But over the last 5 games, let me see, they're ranked 27th. And Mitch played in 4 of those games. Right? The last 5 games, the Knicks are ranked 27th in defense. 4 of those games with Mitch. So the Knicks have been slipping defensively. And I'm sure if I go back over the last 10, 15, and I'll do that as well to see where they are. The defense has been slipping, right? With our defensive anchor. So without him, it might get worse. We shall see. I'm still not panicking. It's one game. The Knicks were out rebounded by 5. The Knicks had 27 assists to Atlanta's 27 assists. Again, offense was not the problem. Knicks shot 59% from the field, as I said earlier, 43.3% from the 3-point line, 76.5% from the free throw line. Offense was not the problem. Points in the paint, they got 2 more points in the paint than we did. We had 60 points in the paint, which is phenomenal. They had 62. But let's talk about that. It's not a lot of discrepancy between these 2 teams in terms of points in the paint. The Knicks are ranked 9th in points in the paint, and Atlanta is ranked 10th. right? And you can see it bore itself out right here. They won the points in the paint battle by 2, right? So I know we want to point to, wow, they got a lot of points in the paint because Mitch, wasn't there. They get a lot of points in the paint. We're ranked 9th, they're ranked 10th. The first game, points in the paint, the Knicks had 48, they had 50. So they had 2 more that game. The second game, December 7th in New York, we had 36 points in the paint, excuse me. They had 46, right? So Atlanta, for the most part, beats us out in points in the paint. They got Clint Capella, they got Okongwu, they got Collins, they got DeAndre Hunter. They're pretty tall down there. We don't usually have the advantage points in the paint with them throughout the 3 games that we played. And again, we're ranked 9th and they're ranked 10th. Second chance points, they were plus 10. We had 13, they had 23. Now, we're ranked number 1 in second chance points with about 18 a game. They're ranked, 19th in second chance points with 13. So they had 10 more second chance points than they usually have, and we had 5 less than we usually do. That's Mitch, So we were -10. The first game in Atlanta, we were -7 with Mitch. The second game, we were +8. So these 2 teams, when it comes to points in the paint, second chance points, we may have a clear advantage rank-wise, but in the particular games, it hasn't really been a clear advantage for us in points in the paint and second chance points. Bench points, we had 28, and they had 39. And I think that was, that was okay. Of the 29 points, Quickly had 10. I think we got some. Sorry, give me 1 minute. I just want to check out the bench points, how it broke down. Quickly gave us 11, iHeart 2, McBride 8, Toppin 7. All right. So we were able to get some production, from the second team. I actually like the second team with RJ, running with them. I like it. Let's see. Let me check in with the chat again. Keith Turner, we got to replace Grimes and RJ in that starting lineup. We need a wing and a good shooting guard. We got more problems than just the bench. Wow. I'm okay. I like Grimes in the starting lineup. Obviously, if we were to bring in a Gary Trent Jr., who's 23 years old, 6'5", also plays good defense. He's a bit more proven because he's been in the league longer. Yeah, Grimes will probably, go to the bench. If we bring in, a Kyle Kuzma, which I doubt that will happen, Grimes will go to the bench. So in no way am I saying that Grimes is stuck in the starting lineup. On this particular team, I like Grimes in the starting lineup. He got cooked last night by those 2 guys, but so did everybody else on our team. So I'm not going to put it just on them, So I'm not going to say that they have to be replaced. But if we upgrade our roster, yeah, I think, for a wing player, yeah, I do think Grimes would be the one to go to the bench. JJ, appreciate you. Salute staff. Why did we keep letting Murray do the same play with Hartenstein playing drop coverage? Shaking my head. They did it over and over, and we made no switch to the defense. That's how we play with Mitch as well. We play drop coverage. That's just how we play. Atlanta is a tough cover because if you come up to stop those guys, then there's the alley-oop with Clint Capella and Okongwu. We've seen this before when the Knicks played them in the 4-game series. Once they get in the key, all of the options are open for the Atlanta Hawks, especially if they're hitting from the outside, right? So you're going to stop the floater, you leave in the alley-oop. You covering that, now you're hitting them on the wings. And DeAndre Hunter, and Bogdanovich, who I think was questionable coming into the game, played well. Bogdanovich in his 24 minutes shot 50% from the field, had 14 points. DeAndre Hunter had three three-pointers. He shot 63.6% from the field. So I hear what you're saying. I just think in that pick and roll, they're a tough cover because all the options are open for them. Agent Super Argo, losing streak is inevitable. Toronto can't wait to embarrass the Knicks. This team is too small with no length. Yeah, we don't have a lot of length. Our defense has been struggling as of late, even with Mitch, and Mitch is out. And we're going into Toronto Sunday to play a team that we have a hard time with, right? Yeah, let's see. Deron Wayne, even with poor defense, Atlanta shot the lights out. They are cooking right now, 1-5 in a row. Yeah, they were a hot team. Definitely a hot team. Coming in, Keith Turner, the queen will never admit. I don't think RJ is the problem. Keith Turner, you're gonna look at this team, and the only person you could single out is RJ. Listen, everybody on this team have pluses and minuses on the season and in last night's game. Randall has been playing very well for us. He didn't score in the fourth quarter. That's a problem. Brunson had 1 point in the fourth quarter. That's a problem. We have a lot of concern. I'm not going to say problems overall. We have a lot of concerns on this team. I don't really see RJ. Yes, he's been uneven. He'll have some quarters where he looks lights out and you'd be like, wow, this is the best of RJ Barrett. And then there's other quarters where, like, what is going on here? So I get that. His defense is not that great. Randall's defense is off and on. How great is Brunson's defense, even though he does try? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not going to say he is the problem. I'm not going to ever admit that because I don't believe it. Can he get better? He can. But can Randall get better? Yeah. Can Brunson get better? Yeah. Can the defense get better? Yeah. Can Tibbs be better? Yeah. So no, I'm not going to sit here and just put it on, to put it on RJ Barrett. Ajay, yes, Queen RJ is one of the problem. He's played zero defense. You said defense was the problem. Yes, one. He said the problem. You're not going to sit here and tell me that RJ Barrett was the only problem on defense last night. IQ and Grimes got cooked too. Okay, so I'm not going to say he is, he's the only problem. I'm not going to even talk about problems, concerns. Troy Van Tull, I just think this coach doesn't use his players at their strengths. I hear you. Agent Super Argo, Knicks are about to drop rapidly in the standings. Miami, Indiana are on their heels. Yeah, but Indiana has dropped like 5 or 6 straight, if I'm not mistaken. Let me pull that up. Yeah, Indiana has lost 6 straight. Atlanta has won 5 straight. Chicago has won 2. This is what I'm saying. If you've been following the Eastern Conference, because I'm doing these shows, I have to look at the standings every game to try to update. You'll see these teams are going up and down, losing 3, winning 3, losing 4, winning 2. That's just how the Eastern Conference is. That's how the Knicks season has been. Super streaky, right? We win 8, lose 5, win 4, lose 3. East Blue Drew, what is McBride giving us that Cam won't give us? You can't have 6'1" guys contesting 6'8" guys. I agree. I'm starting to think, though, that this has something to do with the front office. It's me. Certain guys in the chat repeat certain narratives when RJ has good games. Knock it off. Went on to your fluff. I will say that we do tend to hold on to narratives. Almighty Finesse, what we try to do here in this chat is we try to be super respectful of people. So we try not to call names. You can disagree with people in the chat, but you don't have to be disagreeable or disrespectful. That's what we try to do here. We don't all um, um, we don't all agree. Aj trolling. Tibbs already got an A from the Queen, so he is nearly perfect. Not much room to do better than the A. Listen, grades can change. You know, we've seen it where you got a good report card in the middle of the season, and then by the end of the your midterm grades, and then you fail the class. You know, so we're just talking about up to this point. All right. Is there reason to panic? Are we panicking, Nick family? I'm not panicking because I see in this Eastern Conference, this is just how it is. So I am not, I'm not panicking at all. The biggest lead in the game for the Knicks was 7. The biggest lead by Atlanta was 19. Knicks led from the end of the first quarter through the start of the third. Right? Was that? That might not be correct. I have to check that. Then Atlanta took the, that's true, through the start of the third. Then Atlanta took a huge lead in that third quarter. Randall scored 17 points to give us the narrowest of leads. And then we started that fourth quarter and they went on, I don't know, a 7-0 or 8-0 run. Going into the fourth, we were just down 4. That second unit, they just didn't play well early in the fourth quarter. They didn't play well early in the fourth quarter. And when the starters came back, they didn't do much better. You know, I'm not going to bang on them, but this is what happens. You know, you want to give guys minutes. You want to extend their minutes. Sometimes it works and you get good minutes from them, and sometimes it doesn't. One of the things I would like Tibbs to do is when you put that second unit in, just like we want him to extend those minutes when they are playing well, cut them back when they're not. And that's for any team that's in there. You know, you put them in, next thing you know, it's a 2-0 lead, 3-0 lead, 5-0 lead, 7-0. You know, we got to put the starters back in, you know, and vice versa. That second team is cooking. They're getting you back into the game. Like the last game when they got us within 5 or 6, here comes Randall and Brunson. No, if a team is doing well, let them stay in. And if a team is not doing well, take them out. Take them out early. The Knicks only scored 23 points in the fourth quarter. Atlanta scored 37. Because we couldn't get any stops. We didn't score only 23 points, just not enough. But we gave up 37 points in the fourth quarter when we entered that quarter down 4. Yes, Mitch was part of it. But like I said, the Knicks defense has been slipping, sliding a lot. 27th over the last 4 games. And 4 of those games were with Mitch. All right. The Knicks will get better defensively without Mitch. I'm not going to panic. I'm just trying to figure out where is the help going to come from defensively. Puts a lot of pressure on IQ, a lot of pressure on Grimes and the rest of the team. And this NBA, where it's very hard to guard guys one-on-one, to keep guys out the paint because you don't have the rim protection back there. Puts a lot of pressure on them. You're going to get screened off. Who's determined? Now, obviously, guys are going to rotate to cut off the drive. It's just not the same. We talked about better ball movement. The Knicks had 27 assists last night. Okay. All right. We still lost the game. You know, that's what I mean when I say just win the game. You can work things out as you go along. You know, you got 14 assists and you win. You got 27 assists and you lose. Give me the 14 assists and we win. We know it's not sustainable. We know that, you know, as time goes on, you want to be less predictable. But in the moment, in a particular game, win it. And you work on the other stuff as you go along. And I already talked about the Obi Randall pairing. I don't like it, in the fourth quarter. I get it. Maybe you're looking for offense. Obi has been rebounding a bit better as of late. I don't. It's just not something that I like. Let me check in with the chat before we go to Toronto. Savvy, they tend to be more negative about RJ than need be. RJ is a better defender than they'll acknowledge, but the defensive system deceived the eye. He's been struggling. He's been struggling. He's I don't know. Every year it seems like his defense has just gotten a little bit worse. But I agree. I don't think that's the main problem on the Knicks. Hello, Queen. Good morning, Knicks family. The problem is not the front office. The problem is Tibbs and his favoritism, not allowing the team to grow and get better. For favoritism, how? Is there somebody on the roster other than Cam and Fournier who are not going to play? So if that's what you mean by favoritism, I don't think that's favoritism. I think Fournier is not playing, because of the defensive issues that he has with some of these other wing players that already have defensive issues, right? So if you're putting him in that second unit with him, Obi, Hartenstein, maybe that's the issue. Maybe not just him individually, but where are you putting him? You're putting him with that, and you got him, Obi, and Hartenstein. You put him in the starting unit with Brunson and Fournier as your backcourt, and Cam again. I'm not sure what's going on with Cam. I would love to see Cam get some rotation minutes. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Deron Wayne, but that means iHeart has to play at 5 when Mitch comes back, maybe. I'm not sure. That's a chat conversation that I'm not following. Savvy D, appreciate you again. Steph, when they man up, he's fine, but when he helps, it leads to a lapse. Okay. That was the issue with Randall early on. His one-on-one defense was okay, but his off-ball defense early in the season was something to be desired. All right, let me just see. Okay. Savvy said we were only down 1 point going into the fourth. Were we? Okay. Ashley Ing, I'm not panicking. By the way, I would never unsubscribe, even if you gave Tibbs an A+. I would change my statement that the queen is always right to the queen was wrong once. I hear you. I appreciate you out on that West Coast. 7:39 right now. Troy Van Tol, hello, Queen. If you are the coach, what changes would you do to make this team better after Block Monsters? I'm not quite, I'm not quite sure what to do. I would definitely bring Cam back into the rotation. I definitely think that would help us defensively. I don't think there's much difference between starting Sims or starting iHeart. You do get a bit more size. But like I've always said, iHeart is between his man and the basket, but it doesn't really matter, right? They still score. I'm not sure what we're going to do with Mitch. Do we start trapping a little bit, getting the ball out of certain guys' hands? We slow on rotations as it is. Now you're going to double team. I really don't know in terms of covering up for Mitch. That part I don't know. But just overall, I would definitely put Cam. I would definitely have Cam back in the rotation. Queen, what's the problem starting Sims with Brunson and Randall? What? Brunson, RJ, Randall with Mitch. Because I'm not taking Grimes, a perimeter defender, out of the lineup to play RJ at the 3, Sims at the 4, and Mitch at the 5. You know how clunky that lineup is? Where's the shooting coming from? Where's the spacing coming from? Um, Sims doesn't space the floor. Mitch doesn't space the floor. And you got RJ, Brunson, and Randall who like to get into the key and operate in that area, right? So where's Sims man going to be? Right in the middle of the key where Brunson likes to operate. Where's Mitch man going to be? Right in the middle of the key where RJ likes to operate. And even if you send Sims to the 3-point line, if I'm going to Sims, I'm not going because I know he can't hit the shot from there, right? Sims ain't it. You know, he's not it, starting with Mitch. And I don't think he's it starting instead of Mitch. I don't think anybody that we have on this roster is it starting instead of Mitch. All right. Eastern Conference, right now, the Knicks are still in 7th, 25-22. They're tied with Miami. Miami has the same record as the Knicks, 25-22. The Knicks have lost 3. Miami lost last night to Dallas. Cleveland, who we play next week, Tuesday, has lost 2 straight. Atlanta has won 5, and Indiana after that has lost 6. So if you look at 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, Miami only lost 1, so that's not fair. Atlanta's the only one balling right now. They won 5 straight games. Indiana has lost 6 straight, and this is what I'm saying. You get on a losing streak, you fall down the standings. You get on a winning streak like Atlanta, they're rising up the standards. 6 through 12 is going to be in play all season, right? Toronto is just a game and a half out of the play-in, that 10th spot. Washington is 2 games out. You get on a good run, those two teams can be back in the play-in race, and Indiana and Chicago could be on the outside looking in. That's just how it is. All right. Next game Sunday against Toronto, who seems to have our number. The good thing is that, Sims is going to probably still start. Siakam is 6'8". Sims, I think, is 6'9". He moves pretty well laterally. We'll see. They're 11th in the Eastern Conference, only won 4 games over their last 10. One of them was against us. They've lost 2 straight. They're 14th in offensive rating, 19th in defensive rating, 6th in net rating. But they beat us 2 out of the 3 games we've played them this season. They're long. They could defend. They take us out of what we're trying to do. They're going to get on the boards. Anunoby, Barnes, Siakam, they're going to get on the boards to try to get them, second chance points, right? Randall, out of all the games, not to have 15 rebounds, and I'm not banging on him. Same thing with RJ, who has about 6 rebounds. I think Randall had 9, and wasn't a lot of missed shots, though. RJ had 3. But in all fairness, there wasn't a lot of missed shots in last night's game from either team. Both teams shot very well. Brunson, Grimes, Barrett, Randall, and I would think Sims will start again for us. And for them, the same starters: Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam. That game is Sunday. It's an early game. I want to say that game is at 6 o'clock. All right, where to find me tonight? I will be on a Die Hard Giants live show with Jerrell, the creator of the channel. You may know him if you watch our weekly show, the Just KNICKING show. He's a resident panelist there, but he has his own channel, Die Hard Giants Live. The link to his show and Tsunami show is in the description. Please subscribe to the channel. But he does a watch along for the Giants. Usually he starts at halftime, but during the playoffs, we've been doing the whole game. I got on my Giants jersey, Eli Manning. I will be there tonight, Sunday. I may or may not watch the pregame show, but they doing good things over there. Nothing but Knicks. So if you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so you'll be notified when they go live for the Sunday pregame show. And if you're not subscribed to that channel, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back here Monday, 9-ish, for the morning recap show. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at BKSteph33, Facebook, Dope Soul Sports Talk. I go live on YouTube, but I also go live on Facebook as well. So if you're out and about, and you happen to be in your Facebook page, you can catch the show there as well. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button. Sometimes I'll just go live just because. I did that last week, Saturday. All right, let me shout out the chat before I get out of here. Knicks Nation 112. Tibbs did not want to give him, I believe he's talking about Cam, a role because our fan base can create a star or heel based on our opinions. RJ and Obi are stars, but really, what have done? Knox was a heel and now Cam. I mean, I think what the fan base is doing and what Tibbs and the front office is doing is separate. I don't think Tibbs didn't want to play Cam because of the fan base. I think that if there's a coaching reason for it or a front office reason for it, I don't think there's a fan reason for it. But shout out to you, Nick Nation 112. Shout out to Almighty Finesse, Nick Average. It's me. David, appreciate you, David, for joining us this morning. Don't we have to decide pretty quick whether we are buyers or sellers? I would rather be sellers and trade Evan, Cam, Obi, and any others' thoughts. I think we are both. I think we're both. I think we're buying. And in order to buy in this trade market, you have to sell as well. You have to give to get. So I do think Evan, Cam is on them. I haven't heard much about Obi Toppin. I would think that they would be shopping Obi Toppin, but I haven't heard anything about it. And the reason I say that is because he's not getting a lot of minutes behind Randall. And I think behind Randall, we need a defender and a rebounder behind Randall, right? His contract extension is coming up. Are you going to extend Obi Toppin and he's playing anywhere from 12 to 16 minutes a game? How much are you extending him for? The Knicks already have close to $400 million tied up in RJ, Brunson, Randall, and Mitch. How much money? And I would think they want to keep IQ, right? He's not going to come cheap. You're going to also extend Obi Toppin. All of that being said, I haven't heard any rumors except for that one a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago or so, about Obi Toppin and the Indiana Pacers for a first-round draft pick. Other than that, I haven't heard anything else about Obi Toppin. So to answer your question, both. I think we're buyers and sellers. Ajay, talking about Toronto, they beat us one game. We beat them one game. The refs gave them that third game. Yeah, I'm not going to say they gave them the game, but the officiating, I was in the building for that game, was really one-sided. It's me. Guys talk about they want to tank and rebuild, but slander the youngers on the roster constantly. Don't know if they're ready for a real rebuild. Well, I don't think you don't have to be at this point. I don't think that's going to happen. White Falcon, as long as Randall plays power forward, we ain't going too far. So you think we're going further with Sims at power forward? All right. Shout out to JJ, Dwayne. I'm forgetting to shout people out because I'm reading the comments. All right. Good morning. Salute, Queen. Cam need to be traded and Evan Fournier needs to be gone. We need to pick up a good two-way player to help get the Knicks to the playoff. That's what the Knicks need. You're going down the stretch, you got to decide. All right, we need offense. Let's put Obi in. He might be able to hit a three. Do we need defense? No. How about we have two-way players where we don't have to choose? We just got to choose based on position. We need a guard here. We need a forward here. We need two-way players. Enough already. All right. Shout out to Savvy, Dwayne Dennis, JJ again. East Blue Drew, I appreciate you. Ajay, of course. Stafford Dawn, appreciate you. It's me, Paris Duggar, I appreciate you as well. Cooking, Cooking and more, I appreciate you. Let's just be honest. The Knicks is not a good team, and they're not going anywhere without shooters. Depends on what you mean by, I don't think the Knicks are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think the Knicks are going to the championship game, right? Step by step, piece by piece. The Knicks make it into the playoffs, even if they lose in the first round, that's a step. You retool in the off season, and hopefully you do better next season. But I hear you. Troy Van Tool, I appreciate you. Lily Phillips, I appreciate you. Thank you. Steph, you're good. Didn't understand you at first, but you have a fan in me now. I appreciate you. This is what I'm saying. Stop sticking to your narratives. People get better over time. I've gotten better over time. I hope. I like to think. All right. John Levy, I appreciate you. Doesn't like the drop defense. I hear you on that. Pick your poison with Atlanta, though. Agent Super Argo, appreciate you. Dunrose Gallman. Queen RJ was still not playing defense, even though I'm not disagreeing with you. Who was it? Keith Turner, Ajay. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I'm just saying I don't see RJ as the only concern on this team. That's all I'm saying. I get it. And as a matter of fact, Sunday, because I respect y'all in the chat. When you say something, I think about it. I tend to sometimes I'll take a play and I'll follow them around throughout the game or a portion of the game and focus on them. Sunday, I'm going to focus on RJ Barrett's defense. I'm not saying I don't disagree with you. I agree. I've seen it earlier in the season. I thought it had gotten better. I'm going to follow RJ Barrett Sunday against Toronto maybe I'll follow him for a quarter and just really key on his movements on defense. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It definitely helps the algorithm. I don't know if you guys know how YouTube works, but when there's a lot of engagement, what they do is they put the video out to new people on YouTube to give them an opportunity to click on it. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the notification button. Y'all know my condition. Sometimes I forget things. Almighty Finesse, love you, appreciate you. Canal Band Lawyer, just trying to get to everybody. Keith Turner, Edwin P was in the building early. I appreciate you. Ashley Inc., appreciate you. Edwin P. Anthony Grant, I think I got everybody. Bobby Santiago, I appreciate you. David G, salute. I appreciate you guys. This is a lot of fun. It's going to be a tough one Sunday. But I'll be back at that time. Peace, fam. Monday. I'll be back Monday. Peace, fam.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Don't stop.
Where you at?
Don't stop.
Where you at?
Don't stop.
What?
Don't stop.
What?